In this video, I'm going to show you how I deal with a dog that's reactive. This is Ed with Canine College. Before we get into the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for me, please. So we have a 7-year-old husky here for a few things. He bit one of the kids at his house. Come to find out, the parents weren't really applying structure or any type of boundaries at home for most of his life. So these past 3 weeks, they made a huge drastic change by, finally using the cage. They finally went to go get him one. Then they were looking for a trainer and decided to go with me, and I said I could help them. And here we are. So the reason we do evaluations as dog trainers is to find the problem and give the parents a solution. So that means I have to figure out what's going on at home and what's making this dog reactive. A lot of times it could just be the dog's just not getting enough exercise, or this dog wasn't properly introduced to this particular setting throughout its life. That dog doesn't have confidence in that particular setting. That's why it's so important when we get these puppies or these dogs, we're desensitizing them into these situations. For the case of Kovu, he's not necessarily an aggressive dog. It's just all that freedom that he had, or that freedom that he was given, created a lot of these underlying issues. And it took 7 years for him to finally bite someone, for him to be like, okay, it's time to tighten up. But that's not what we're supposed to do. A lot of these dogs, or these bigger breeds that we take in, these dogs need work. They need something to do. Their brains are moving literally 1,000,000 miles per hour. And we have to figure out a way to stimulate that brain and give them an outlet so they can be calm. So when we're out here training, it's not for no reason. Look at all these different athletes, from MLB players, NBA players, professional athletes, musicians. A lot of these people have been practicing for years. It doesn't matter if you think you've mastered a craft, you still practice to get better. Look at bodybuilders for an example. It doesn't matter, he don't care how big his muscles is. That boy's still gonna hit the gym. So it's the same thing here. So if you do decide to go work on your reactivity with your dog somewhere where there will be other dogs, then definitely try to tire them out. That's basically what I try to do with those first 30 minutes of the session, is to teach the parents, learning to engage, giving them exercise ideas that they can use before they get into the hard part of the training session, and that's reactivity. So here you're gonna see me take the leash. Already you see Kovu is already lunging. So I'm using a slip lead, guys. Remind you, this dog has a bite history. Could have easily used a prong collar, but since he doesn't know what leash pressure is, I'm gonna start off as a slip lead because I don't want him to react and try to bite me because of the prong collar. You're gonna see him try to lunge, and I just let him go do what he do, and I just stand there because I know it's gonna retract back. But basically, I'm letting him make a mistake so he can learn from it. After the first 2 times, you're gonna see him calm down. And keep in mind how I'm keeping a good little distance, right? I'm not immediately just bringing him over there. It starts off with a distance. I want him to be able to be neutral in the situation. As of right now, he has full 100% focus on my dog. He doesn't care for my leash walking. He doesn't care what I'm doing right now. Keep in mind how important those first 30 minutes that I had with him and his parents. We're working on leash walking before this situation. Here, he kind of already learned what leash pressure is and different things like that. So this just kind of makes this situation 10 times easier. And he kind of has half the energy to fight me, to get to my dog. So if you're at home and you want to be able to try to do something like this, the only way you can do this is if you can find a particular place where you know there's going to be dogs. So you can do this outside of a gate of a dog park. Do not go in the dog park. I repeat, do not go in there. Stand outside of the dog park at a good distance and just sit there with your dog. And you can do that for like 10 minutes and then you can go home. But before you even start working on stuff like that, I need you guys at home to build a good relationship with your dog. So that means going back to the basics and having your dog on command starting in the house. That is the only way this is going to work. So what I'm doing here is literally just having this dog look at my dog from a distance and just teaching this dog to be neutral. That's all I'm doing. Nothing here is fancy. I'm just taking lead. And that's where a lot of us are failing at. We need to take lead. Some of us are sitting here treating our dogs like people, and these dogs are treating us like, you know what I'm saying, animals. So after having Kovu look at my dog, just sitting down for a little bit, I got right back into the figure eights, just walking in circles, just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. Your dog doesn't have to greet every dog they meet in their life. They do not have to get pet by everybody they meet all their life. It's okay for your dog to ignore people. That's the name of the game. You practice with one dog. Then eventually you bring 2 dogs, then 3 dogs, then 4 dogs. Same thing with people. Same thing with kids. Dogs learn in pictures. So you have to put them in that particular situation. Like, have you guys ever seen, when it comes to protection training, they create a scenario where they want their dog to succeed in this particular situation just in case if this happened. So you take that same concept to when you're walking outside with your dog. How would I want my dog to react when they see another dog? My answer would be, I want them to do nothing. Just walk next to me. That's it. All right? Ignore them. Listen to me. Full blown listen to me. That's it. So if I know my dog is not good in situations when it comes to other dogs being around, I'm going to find a way to work on that and fix that. That's what I'm not good at. Just like when we go in the gym. I know my legs are weak, so I'm going to go work on legs. Right? You're not seeing the results in your legs, so you're going to go work on them. So it's the same thing when it comes to working with our dogs. Again, peep how I keep my distance. This is a distance game. So when you're working with your dog in situations like this, you start from far away. Then as you get better, you slowly progress. And you add on those increments. You know what I'm saying? Start from far, then get closer, then get closer. When you see your dog start to calm down and starting to understand, and you are starting to get on the same page, then you can start moving closer, right? It's all about building confidence in y'all relationship, right? The dog's getting more confident because the dog is finally understanding oh shit, I don't have to react every time I see a dog. Okay, I get it now. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. We're not overcomplicating nothing, right? This session won't be the same for every dog, right? But hopefully this is kind of giving y'all a glimpse of, of what to do. And to know you guys can find progress. And then the only way this gets 10 times easier is to know if you have a dog that's fully motivated, when it comes to food or another ball, right? A dog that's ball or food driven makes situations like this 10 times easier. Most of the times, dogs that are reactive is just a dog that has built up energy, really, right? Dog just has a whole bunch of dopamine built up, can't even get it out, you know? So we have to give our dogs outlets. So with that being said, if you're overfeeding your dog, you should slow down on that. Give your dog a purpose. So when you go outside, they're like, oh shit, I get to sit down, play with my owner for unlimited days of my life. Dog's just happy to be there. So build that relationship, man. So put that bowl away, put that food in a pouch, go outside, go train, start at home, go train everywhere. Expose your dog to everything. If you just went to go get a new puppy, and you're not fully, knowing what you're doing, go get a trainer, right? Because when we go get these dogs, so this is what we sign up for. So I give the parents the leash back. So what I was doing is basically demonstrating, just doing the hard part for him. So basically just calming him down. So when I give it back to the parents, they're kind of they're like, oh shit, he really did that. So give them a little relief off their shoulders and really showing them, this is possible. And teaching them when to correct him in this situation is very important too. So when they go home, they can practice this, paying attention to all the little details of his body language. If he's looking at the dog too long, all these little things that play into correcting our dog. A lot of people don't realize how important that leash is. That leash is like our steering wheel. So when I'm driving a car, if my power steering goes out, we're cooked. We're super cooked. If I want to make a U-turn, it's impossible. It ain't happening. So when people come and be like, yo, take that off the dog's neck, put on a harness, hell no. I see a lot of people who have 90, 80 pound, 110 pound dogs telling me while they're getting dragged, take my dog off the prong collar, take my dog off a slip lead, I'm hurting my dog's neck. If you grew up watching Discovery Channel and you've seen a bear or a lion or a dog, cheetah, the list goes on. If the mother was ever upset with her little pups or cubs, they are grabbing them by their neck. Because why? They naturally communicate through there. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Teaching him leash pressure, understanding when he makes a mistake, he feels this. If I want you to sit down, you feel this. If you accidentally go the wrong way and you weren't paying attention, you're going to feel that pressure and understanding, oh, I need to go that way. So those first 30 minutes of this session meant a lot because now it translates to this last half of the session where there's another dog, right? We're learning to communicate. You see the parents right here being able to walk past the dog, right? Understanding oh, it's okay. I can walk past this dog and understand oh, I ain't tripping no more. Dad cool. Mom ain't tripping. They ain't yanking my neck 24/7, right? And I know why they're yanking my neck now. There's actually a purpose. So with that being said, if your dog's a little older, you will catch yourself in a situation like this where your dog's reactive. But if you are a person that just got a puppy, 12 weeks, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, you still have a chance to, avoid a situation like this. Because starting a puppy at a very young age will just make your life 10 times easier by the time they're 1 or 1.5 years or 2 years old. Because you're already giving them a blueprint, a foundation to live on. And if you're exposing them to a lot of these different things early, that relationship with you and your dog will just be 10 times stronger. And that's where you'll see yourself standing out from others. Situations where we have reactivity really only comes from dogs that are really 1, 2, and beyond, right? It's just because they weren't properly introduced, again, to situations like this. And once a lot of you guys understand that and look back into why could my dog be reactive, sit down and think about that, right? What should you be doing at home differently to avoid having a dog that's reactive? Understanding your dog 10 times more. So if you want to practice this reactivity at home, you have to go find you a group of people that you can trust, or if you can have 1 or 2 people you can trust and their dog is pretty chill, then do this with them. Or if not, find your trainer, or like I said earlier, go to a dog park, but stand outside the dog park at a distance, or find farmers markets where they accept dogs. There's going to be dogs there. Stay at a distance, right? There's all these little things you can do. So right here, Kovu's going to see a cat run by, but I just told mom to give him a quick correction, and literally he snapped out of it. Kovu would have usually broke his mom's shoulder to go after that cat, but just doing this one session, they learned how to communicate with the leash. So this one session doesn't mean his reactivity is fixed or he's a perfect dog now, but this session just shows if you have the right information, implement the right tools, right? You can learn to communicate with your dog in minutes. You know what I'm saying? This is just day one, right? We was just in the boxing match. We were just in the boxing ring with Kovu. That's all it was. Cause he's gonna be hard-headed. He's like, bro, I've been doing this for 7 years, and here's this random guy, right, telling me oh, this is what I have to do. Now my parents in on it, right? And just like, bro, I gotta give in, right? So we just gotta break bad habits. All these little bad habits that we had going on, we just had to kick them out the window, implement these new habits, right? The good ones, so we can have that little success. But hey, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for more. I'm out.